Another finished guitar project. This is guitar number 6. This commission started out with a pretty interesting question of what if Mike Ness from Social Distortion fame played a Strat? You know, he's known for playing a Goldtop Les Paul, and as you can see, this very much has that same single cut vibe to it. But as I talked with my friend, you know, we got more into it, and it was, you know, not necessarily a Strat or anything else. But as we were collaborating, we thought, okay, well, let's actually do sort of the hybrid Strat Les Paul sort of combination. And so just to sort of lead off with the design of this guitar, this is the same headstock I've been using in the past. One of the many firsts this guitar is actually using a laser engraver to put my logo in. That turns out to work really, really nice relative to the vinyl sticker that I was using before. And so, you know, I'll definitely continue to do that. Certainly on the back of the serial number, I also did with laser. You know, we go in black hardware here, black nut, Patagonian rosewood. My friend really liked the idea of the trapezoid inlays, and so, you know, having a black color here, we definitely wanted to have, you know, some contrast available. And so, you know, I found this piece of wood, and you know, is quite light, you know, relative to you know, other rosewoods, and so, you know, it makes a good choice here. This project was also the first one where I did epoxy inlays, and so I cut these inlays using a CNC machine, filled them with epoxy, then, you know, hand radiused the board, and so, you know, that was another first, as I say. You know, getting down to the body, the finish is obviously Goldtop here. I'll talk about finish in a little bit, but, you know, keeping going with the design of the guitar. We have the 3-way switch, you know, the normal plates that you expect. Did a bolt-on neck, did string-through construction, and then, you know, have a Strat-style bridge. Finally, on the pickup side, these are Seymour Duncan Hot P90s, and we'll do a playing sample in a little bit, but this is the first time I've used these type of pickups. These are so hot that they actually overdrive the one channel of my Princeton reverb, and so that was something that really surprised me. And then, you know, we have the gold knobs here to kind of finish it up. As I mentioned, there were a lot of firsts to go with as part of this guitar process. The first being I fully designed this in CAD software. So I've been fooling around with this in the past, you know, in lieu of making, you know, actual templates and things, you know, drawing out scale drawings and kind of getting a real understanding of what I was trying to do. In this case, you know, I fully drew everything out, you know, including the binding, you know, the pickup covers, the bridge, and all of that. And it was definitely a worthwhile affair. This guitar is the most in-tune guitar I've built yet. It's overall the best guitar I've built yet, but it's you know, one of the reasons for that is that it's the most in tune. And so, you know, a lot of that has to do with, you know, making sure that the bridge is in the proper place, obviously doing intonation and things. Another area where this was a first for my build was actually using a CNC to create all the pieces. In the past, I've done different things where, you know, I might have done some CNC for the body and then maybe hand carved the neck and, you know, things like that. But in this case, you know, the fretboard, as I said, was I did the inlays and then the frets slots using CNC. I completely carved the neck using a CNC. You know, my drawing, you know, turned out to be pretty well. I didn't use any sort of rasps or anything to reshape the neck. Obviously, I sanded it after it came off the machine. The neck profile ends up being sort of a D shape, which slightly surprised me. I was going much more for kind of a standard Strat C shape. but this is how it came off the machine. And so as a technical achievement for me, I was really proud that I was able to do that. On the body side, this whole thing ended up being two-sided milling operation, and so the ferrules, those were all cut in. All of these parts were all cut in by CNC. The belly carve, which you can see right here, again, all part of the CNC process. And then it's a little hard to see here, but you can see the line where the forearm carve is. And so, being that this was my first fully automated build, like I said, I think my design skills have come, much further than when I started. And then, my machining skills have as well. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't a lot of hand fitting that went in. Certainly, I finished the guitar myself. I didn't have any robots or anything do that. But yeah, overall, like I said, this is the best guitar I've created so far. And when we go to the sound clips, you'll see that it does sort of your 40s, 50s jazz as the original Les Paul was meant to do. But these hot P90s also sound pretty interesting, distorted. On the negative side, the only thing that really stands out to me that I wish I had done better was the Goldtop paint. I used the Stu Mac antique gold out of the spray cans, which is fine. It actually worked out really well. My technique has obviously gotten better as I've done this a couple of times. But for whatever reason, the clear wouldn't stick to the paint. And so as I was trying to assemble it, I would just get clear flakes everywhere. I would guess that was user error. Perhaps I put the clear on too thick or too fast. So I ended up painting this guitar a number of times. It still didn't come out to exactly, what I would have liked. It's the best lacquer finish I've done so far, hands down. But in the future, I hope to do even better. Other than that, there aren't really any areas that I'm disappointed in. This guitar is actually quite heavy. It's 10 pounds, I think 5 ounces. When I talked to the commissioner, my friend, I asked if he wanted any weight relief, and he said no. And so you kind of have a very 70s Les Paul type of vibe going on here. But yeah, other than the slight finish imperfections and perhaps the weight, there's nothing really else that I can criticize about this guitar. When talking about how this is the most in-tune guitar that I've created, I'm sort of referring to the fact that you can play, really wide jazz chords, and they sound great up the neck. And so something like this B flat 13, and whatever this weird one is. All that sort of stuff sounds really good. And to me, I don't play guitar a whole lot anymore, but when I did, I was really into chord melody. That sort of stuff is important. Making the guitar almost, sound like a piano, was something that I always liked or always desired, from the guitars that I played. That was with the sound, the neck pickup, the volume all the way on 10, tone about halfway. As I was playing, I don't know if it'll come through on the video or not, but you were starting to hear the bass distort because the pickups are so hot. You know, if I strum a chord, you can't quite hear it maybe, but you know, it's starting to overdrive. You know, which I think is the desired effect, social distortion, you know, being a much more rowdy band than sort of, you know, fingerstyle jazz. But yeah, you know, that sounds great. Move to the second pickup, you immediately get a volume boost from the back pickup. You know, nice and chimey. Go to the bridge pickup itself, you start to get into that very quacky type of sound. And you know, in a second, you know, that much treble, you know, really works out on the distortion side. Switching to Spark, I believe this is like the heavy metal preset. You know, you can definitely get some pretty soaring lead tones. That's the neck. The middle position with both pickups. Again with the lead, now sort of the bridge pickup. I can't play kind of metal or rock, but yeah, I mean, you know, this guitar, I think, you know, has a lot of sounds in it. I kind of wish it was sticking around here so I could explore a bit more, but it's off to a good home. Sean, I hope you love this guitar, and yeah. After this one, I'm probably going to focus on acoustic guitars, at least, you know, the next couple of builds. But you know, like I said, this is the best one I've done so far on the electric side, and hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.